Welcome back to another exciting lesson. In lesson 4, we are going to talk about phonotactic rules and the syllable structure. These are the objectives. First, we will describe the syllable, and then we will talk about phonotactic constraints in English. And the last one would be discussing syllable types and the syllable structure. Let us get straight into the lesson. The syllable. What is a syllable? Simply, a syllable is the pronunciable unit of a word. It does not have meaning. What is the meaning of pronunciable unit? You do not need to pause and continue the syllable. We pronounce syllables in just one breath. There is something that you need to know about syllables. Every syllable has a vowel sound. Remember, we are doing phonology. I didn't say a vowel letter. Every syllable has a vowel sound. So it contains at least one vowel sound. Also, the word may have one or multiple syllables. It means you can have an English word that is only one syllable. You can have an English word that is 2 syllables. You can have an English word that contains 3 syllables. You can have an English word that contains even 5 syllables. Here are some examples. In the first one, work. It contains only 1 syllable. You say work at a go. You say work in just one breath. Now let us see alphabet. Alphabet. We can see that it has 3 syllables. It has 3 pronunciable units. We don't say alphabet in just one breath. You have to pause 3 times when you are pronouncing alphabet. That is why we are saying it has 3 syllables. So, bet. Those are the 3 syllables in the word alphabet. Now what about organization? Organization. We have 5 different pronunciable units in the word organization. Organization. This means that we have 5 syllables in this word. Syllables indicate word rhythm. It means that syllables give words their beat or their flow when speaking. Syllables are very important, especially in poetry and song lyrics. But here we are going to concentrate on how important syllables are in phonetics. Now let us talk about the structure of the syllable. It is just like a sandwich or a hamburger. The first part of the syllable is called onset. When we say an onset, it means the consonant sounds that come before the vowels. When we compare it with the hamburger, the onset is the bread that starts the syllable. And this onset is optional. You can have your hamburger without this bread that starts it. So the onsets, the consonant sounds that come before vowels, are optional in the syllable structure. Now a syllable always contains a nucleus. This nucleus is the central element of the syllable. It must always be present. If we compare this to our sandwich, then the nucleus will be the fillings. These things, they are not optional. They must be there, else we cannot call it a sandwich. So the nucleus is usually a vowel. It is always present. It means that you can have a syllable that contains only a nucleus, a vowel sound, and not a consonant sound. You can also have a syllable that contains a consonant sound that is coming before the vowel sound. If you have such a syllable, then the consonant sound before the vowel sound or your bread before the fillings is what we call the onset. And the nucleus, the central element, your fillings, is a vowel and it must always be present. Now what about the bread at the end of it? We call it coda. So the coda is the consonant after the vowel. This is also optional. So it means that the minimal form is the nucleus, the vowel sound. So every syllable must have a vowel sound. The syllable can have a consonant sound before it, but the consonant sound is optional. It is not mandatory for every syllable. The syllable can also contain a coda, that is a consonant sound after the vowel. This is also optional. This is the basic structure or the three main parts of a syllable. Let us have this example. When we take the word stand, it is just one syllable. You just pronounce it with one breath. Stand. It doesn't have more than one pronounceable units. Therefore, this is one syllabic word. Now, this syllable contains consonant sounds before it and then consonant sounds at the end of it. But it has a nucleus, that is a vowel sound in it. Let us break down this syllable into the three main parts. What do you think will be the onset? The onset, remember, are the consonants before the vowel. So the s and the t become our onset. So the onset is the s and the t. Now what about the nucleus? What is our vowel sound, the mandatory element in the syllable structure? It is the vowel a. So that will be our nucleus. And what is the last part? Our bread at the end. It will be the and the d. So this will form our coda. So these are the three main parts of an English syllable. It can have an onset, that is a consonant sound before the vowel sound. The syllable always has the nucleus, that is the vowel sound which must be present. And the syllable can also contain a coda, that is the consonant sound that must come after it. Here is also another important thing. The nucleus, that is the vowel sound, together with the coda, the consonant sound at the end, form what we call the rhyme or the core of a syllable. So in English, when we say words rhyme, it means that the nucleus and the coda of those words are the same. So for example, can you give me a word that rhymes with stand? You can say sand. Both of them rhyme because the nucleus, that is the vowel sound and then the consonant sound at the end, are the same. So stand and sand rhyme because we have the same nucleus and the same coda. So these are the three parts of a syllable. First of all, the syllable contains an onset. Then it has a nucleus and a coda. But the nucleus and the coda both serve as the rhyme of the syllable. Let us talk about some basic characteristics of a syllable. First of all, a minimum syllable. The minimum form of a syllable you will get is a single vowel without any consonant sounds. Example is the word a. So for a, we have only the nucleus, a vowel sound. A. Another word is or. Or. We have only one nucleus. There are no codas and no onsets. Another word is air. Air. It contains only one vowel sound. So it means that this syllable is made up of only the nucleus. So in English, words like this are one syllabic because it contains only the nucleus. There are no onsets or codas. Some syllables may also have no consonants. Some syllables are just isolated sounds. If you say in agreement, for example, buy me bread, and you respond this is also qualified to be a syllable. It is just an isolated sound. Now, if you are a teacher and you want your children to be quiet, you can say shh. This sound means silence. So it is also acting as a syllable, a sound in isolation. Some syllables have onsets, but they do not have coders. This means that they start with a consonant before the vowel, but there is no consonant that ends the syllable. For example, car has the onset k and then the nucleus a. Key has the onset k and then the nucleus e. We do not have the coda in these two words. That is a syllable with no onset but a coda. This means that syllable starts with a vowel sound but ends with a consonant sound. We have this in words like and off. So has the nucleus a, that is the vowel sound, and which is the consonant sound, the coda. Off also has the nucleus o and then the coda, which is f. It doesn't have any onset. You can also get a syllable with onset and a coda. For example, burn. It has a consonant sound at the end and a consonant sound at the beginning. So burn has b as the onset, air as the nucleus, and the as the coda. Kiss also has k as the onset, a as the nucleus, and then s as the coda. Here are some few examples that will help you to understand the nature of the English syllable. First, you can have a syllable with no onset, meaning no consonant sound before the nucleus. For example, an contains a nucleus and a coda. There is no consonant sound before the nucleus. Or also contains only the nucleus. There is no onset. Another example, a syllable with no coda, which means there is no consonant sound at the end of the nucleus or after the nucleus. For example, B. It contains an onset and the nucleus, but no coda. Key also contains the onset and the nucleus, but no coda. You can also have a syllables that contains both the onset and the coda. For example, kiss. It has the onset k, it has the nucleus a, and then the coda s. Burn also has both. It has the onset b and then the coda n. Now let us talk about complex onsets. You can have more than one onset occurring in the same syllable. You can have only one onset that is occurring in the syllable, which means you can have only one consonant sound occurring before the nucleus. For example, T. It has only T as the onset and then the nucleus. Also, you can have an onset that contains two consonant sounds. For example, star. Star. It contains the onsets s and then t. So we have two consonant sounds before the nucleus. We can also have an onset that contains three consonant sounds. For example, we have the word spray. So for the word spray, we have these consonant sounds occurring before the nucleus. S, p, and then So that is the maximum number of onsets that we can have. Now let us talk about complex coders. We can have only one coda, only one consonant sound occurring after the nucleus. For example, feel. Here, which one is the coda? It is the O, the lateral sound, and it is only one consonant sound. So we have only one coda in this syllable. Another syllable is the word test. It has two consonants as coders. Remember, the coders are the consonant sounds that come after the nucleus. Therefore, in transcription, we will have two consonant sounds after the nucleus, that is E. Now the next one is a complex coda with three consonant sounds. For example, text. Now remember that here we are doing sounds, pronunciation. We are not doing spellings. So based on the spelling of this word, you would say that it has only two consonant letters, not consonant sounds. But Pronounce the word and see. Pronounce it after me. Text. Text. You would see that for the pronunciation, we would have 3 consonant sounds after the nucleus E, which is k, s, and then t. So we have text. Text. So this is the pronunciation, but this is the spelling. So when we are dealing with a syllable structure, we use the pronunciation, not the spelling of the word. So in spelling, it has only 2 consonant letters. But in pronunciation, that is in phonetics, this syllable has 3 consonants functioning as the coda. The k, s, and t. Whenever you see x as a letter, it has 2 consonant sounds. K, s. Put that in mind. Now, we can also have a syllable with 4 consonant sounds at the end. Pronounce this word. Glimpsed. 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 Here is how it is transcribed. Glimpsed. 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 So based on this, we can say that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 consonant sounds. These are examples of complex codas and examples of syllables that we have in English. The syllable can be looked at in 2 different ways. First of all, we can look at the syllable as a phonetic syllable, and we can also look at the syllable as orthographic syllable. What is the phonetic syllable? The phonetic syllable is actually how the syllable is spoken. So a syllable as you hear and say it in speech. It is based purely on sounds, phonetics, and not spellings. For example, the word potent. Potent has 2 syllables, the po and the tent. In phonetic syllable, we represent it using their phonetic units. That is, the first syllable will be po plus the second syllable, which is tent. This is the phonetic syllable. So here, each syllable is based on actual spoken sounds, not just the letter groups. What about the orthographic syllable? This is the written group of letters. That is, a syllable as shown in writing when a word is split into parts. Sometimes we use the hyphen to split the word into syllables. For example, the word happen, we can write it and represent it as syllables by bringing a hyphen between the 2 syllables. That is happen, happen. But this is just the spelling of the word. The pronunciation is happen, happen, that the letters are not the same as the sound, how it is pronounced. So that is the orthographic syllable. It is based on letters, not always on how the word really is pronounced. So for the word happen, the orthographic syllable will be happen. We will use hyphen to break down the 2 syllables in the word. But in pronunciation, this is how it is broken. Hap in, hap in, hap in, hap in. That is the phonetic syllable. But in spelling, it is hap, the first part, and then pin, the second part. So that is the difference between the phonetic syllable and the orthographic syllable. A phonetic syllable divides based on sounds, but the orthographic syllable divides based on letters. And the reason why they differ is that English spelling rules don't always match how sounds are grouped when we actually speak. So you can think of orthographic syllables as how your teacher splits words on the board, and phonetic syllables as how your tongue actually splits them in your mouth.